check with your neighbor. Did you guys write the same thing? Getting there. Are we a little slow on driving?
It's just opposite.
Pretty much almost the same thing you just wrote.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Wild. All right, guys, it should be the limit of f of x as x approaches infinity is infinity. Next, the limit of f of x as x approaches negative infinity is infinity. Okay? Are we okay with that notation? Okay, you won't now, if you see it somewhere, you won't be like, what, Lynn? What are we talking about? Okay? What's happening? All right, any other questions before we move on to the rest of our 1.1 notes? Technically, yeah, 1.1 is all polynomial stuff, and we're going to add just a little more to that today. Not today. Yeah, not till next week. And we do 2 days on 1.2, and then it's your skill 1 assessment. So, pretty quick.
Is it just factoring?
Today is solving nonlinear inequalities. Oh, the assessment. So it's everything we did in 1.1 so far. What we're doing today, and then 1.2 is all about zeros. Do you remember like long and synthetic division last year? Yeah, it's some of that stuff. All right, and then that's it. So hopefully it's a good first assessment. All right, guys. 1.1.
I'm gonna fail the eye test again at my physical. No, I have lost
Day 2.
I'm just gonna fail because remember how I said you're gonna learn my contact? Just because now I'm gonna fail my eye test. I'm so upset.
All right, we're going to solve some nonlinear inequalities. All right, so we're just going to do a bunch of examples today. So our first one is x minus 6 times x plus 1 is greater than 0. And guys, I'm going to walk you through this, okay? Yeah, I'm going to walk you through it.
Wait, aren't you not?
Yeah, no. You should know how to do this. It's fine. Okay, I'm going to show you 2 ways to do it. We're going to first do what's called the number line test. So I'm going to just draw a little line.
The number line. I've never seen that one.
Okay. All I've done is draw a line. I think we're okay so far. Maybe. We can draw a line, right? Okay. What you put on your number line are your critical numbers. It's the numbers that would make each of your factors equal to 0. Okay? If you were graphing it, it'd be your x-intercepts. So I'm going to put 6 and -1. Make sure you put them in order. Okay? 6 doesn't come before -1 on your number line. So here's -1. Here's 6. What we're going to do is, yeah, go ahead.
Should we mark the 0?
You don't have to. Nope. Very just sketch-ish kind of number line here. We're going to test these regions of the number line to see where this is positive and negative. So the easiest thing to plug in to test is 0. Which region of this number line would 0 be in? Middle. Okay, yes, not a trick question. In the middle. So I'm going to test the middle region first. What I mean by plug it in is I'm literally thinking through, okay, 0 minus 6, what does that give me? Okay, and I don't even care what the number is, I just care if it's positive or negative. So I know that parenthesis gives me a negative. What about the x plus 1 parenthesis? What will that give me? A positive. Okay, and what is a negative times a positive? A negative. That means this region of my number line is always going to be negative. So I can plug in any number between -1 and 6, and it would give me a negative value. Okay? All right, 2 ways you can do the rest of the number line. If you really enjoy plugging numbers in, pick a number bigger than 6 and plug it in. Pick a number smaller than -1 and plug it in. Or you can use what you know about multiplicity and just fill in the number line. Do you see any multiplicity on my factors? No. That means my number line is just going to nicely alternate. So if it's negative in the middle, it's going to be positive on the left and positive on the right. So once you find one region, you know all of them. Okay, then we have to actually answer the question. So it said, when is this greater than 0? Do you think that's the positive parts of my number line or the negative part? Positive. Greater than 0, I want the positive parts. So I want this region over here that I put a little plus in, and I want this section of it over here that I put a plus in. And then what about the -1 and the 6? Do you think I'm going to include those or not include those? Not. You're right, but why?
Because they aren't greater than 0.
So it does have to do with the greater than sign. If it had said greater than or equal to 0, you would include them because that's where this equals 0. If it's just greater than or just less than, you can't include those points. So they'd be, like open circles on your graph. So your final answer is -infinity to -1 with a parenthesis, union, parenthesis, 6 to infinity.
Oh,
That's it.
wait, but that makes sense.
Well, that's exciting.
Wait, but that's it? But then what's with all the pluses on next to the 6 and everything?
Because that region is positive.
Then what? Then why did you put a plus next to -1?
Because that region is positive.
How is it positive?
Okay, so let's look at a number. Give me a number less than -1.
-2.
Okay, good job. If I plug a -2 in here, what is -2 minus 6?
-4. Wait,
No.
no.
-8. You're making me nervous. What about -2 plus 1? Redeem yourself.
So your 2 plus 1
Yeah.
is -1.
Okay. What is -8 times -1?
Negative is 8.
Positive, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's what we're doing.
She doesn't.
That's what we're doing. Yeah, it's not just like 6 is positive. No. It's
Okay.
what you get. That's why we did this little. Okay.
Thanks, Jake. That was really fun.
Let's keep going, guys. So this is also connected to graphing polynomials. If I had given you this to graph, if I had said graph x minus 6 times x plus 1, just like we did in the warm-up, could you graph it? I hope so. Potentially. We'd have x-intercepts at -1 and it's 6, right? What would the ends of the graph be doing? Going up. Your y-intercept is somewhere down here at -6. So wouldn't the graph look something like that? Okay, so let's look at this. Here's your x-axis, right? Do you see how the graph is below the x-axis between -1 and 6? Okay, and I got negative between -1 and 6. So this is connected to whether your graph is above or below the x-axis. You don't have to do this both ways to solve it, but that's how it connects back to your graph, okay? From 6 to infinity is positive. from 6 to infinity, my graph is above the x-axis. Okay.
Which way would you prefer we do it?
Today I'd probably practice it with the number line, but if you on any of them are like, I need to check that with a graph, or you can do it graphically too. Okay. Doesn't really matter. The number line is something that's going to come back again later in the year when we're doing some domain things. So being familiar with it is a good thing. All right, we're going to do more of these. Okay, so let's try again. All right. Let's say I've got x times x plus 3 times x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0.
What? I disagree. This one.
Okay, guys, number line. Let's do it that way. How many points am I going to have on my number line? 3. Do you guys want me to walk you through another one, or do you want to try it? Walk us through. Okay. So that is a factor. It's a 0.
Oh, that's a 0? Okay.
And what are the other points?
It's -3 and positive 1. Right?
Yep. So -3, 0, and 1. Okay, because it's what would make each factor equal 0. All right. And again, please just put them in order, otherwise you're going to mess up your number line. All right, picking a region to plug something into. I can't plug 0 in this time because it's one of the boundaries of the regions. So I have to pick something else. What do you want to plug in? 2. Okay, so I'm checking that region far out to the right now. So if I plug a 2 in, 2 in for the x will give me
2.
okay, which is positive. 2 into this factor will give me positive. 2 into this factor will give me, okay, also positive. What is a positive times a positive times a positive? Positive. Okay. Are we getting it to that point? Like we see the plugging in? Okay, good. Is there multiplicity on any of the factors? No. So what is my number line going to do? Yes. So if it's positive over there, it's going to go then negative, positive, negative. Now, if you don't trust me, you can certainly plug in other numbers, but I think that's kind of a waste of time.
Now I understand.
Okay, yep. That's why we're doing a bunch of these. Okay, and then the question, again, make sure you actually answer what it's asking. It says, when is it greater than or equal to 0? Which regions, based on what I put in with my pluses and minuses, are going to be greater than or equal to 0?
More than 1.
More than 1. Okay, so over here on the end. And then where else? Yeah, right in here in between. Yes? Okay, am I including the -3, the 0, and the 1 this time? Yes, why?
So it's also equal to 0.
Yes, it says greater than or equal to 0. At these points right here is where this equals 0. So your final answer is bracket, -3, 0, bracket, union, bracket, 1 to infinity, parentheses. Questions so far? Starting to get the procedure here? Okay. All right, let's try again. All right, 2x squared plus 9x minus 5 is less than or equal to 0. What do you think we have to do first on this one? Factor. See, once again, it's not going away. So I'm going to give you a minute to work on this one. Factor it. Find those numbers. Set up your number line. Check your regions. Write your answer. Okay, so I'll give you a few minutes. You can definitely work with each other on this one. Yeah.
So, isn't there a thing when it's this same, it's the same, and you would do 2x minus 1 and then x plus 5? Isn't that a thing?
Why would you do minus 1? Or is it a minus?
I think it's minus. They're just in general. It's just like the same. No, wait, no.
When you're done, check in. Did you guys get it?
Once you get it, you're back to it.
That's right.
2x minus 1, cos x plus 5.
Yes.
Alright, that's the same.
Did you finish it? Can I look at
So you
This less than or equal to 1, so that's So it's just in between -5 and matter. It's just what are Yeah.
So you're either going to take the 2 posts.
because I got this from him, but since it's like,
Yeah, I got some.
no, because there's no multiplicity, so it's alternating.
Oh, wait.
So then you're gonna just use the negative part though.
Oh, okay.
Why do you just use the negative part again?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
How do you have
Yeah,
So you guys include the -5.
I chose 0.
I got them for my wedding gift.
Well, it has to be.
I actually love that.
So I can 0. As long as it's not one of the numbers on the line, you can do it. I figured out that one was, negative times positive.
That would make this
Take the hair. Negative. It tells you you're multiplying a negative and positive, which is negative. That middle section is like yes, because there aren't any. You're not squaring it in the factor. It's just put it on.
Who gave you yours? Who gave you so we had like 40.
All right, guys, in a minute, then we'll look at it.
I know 5 is right.
Seven.
Wait, is Charlotte on your team? Charlotte's on right.
Charlotte who?
But sorry.
There's another boat right?
No, this is Charlotte. Charlotte sounds like you're stopped right now. I know. That sounds right now.
All right, guys, let's go through it. If you were stuck, that's okay. But let's look and see what we got. So first, you got to be able to factor, otherwise you can't really do the problem. So what does this factor into? 2x minus 1 and? Good. Okay, so the two numbers I need on my number line are -5 and +1/2. Are we okay there? Okay. I like to test with 0 whenever I can, just because it's really easy to plug in. So if I plug 0 into the first parenthesis, that 2x minus 1, I get a negative. And then 0 plus 5, I get a positive. So overall, is that region positive or negative?
Negative.
Okay. Do I have any multiplicity going on?
No.
Okay, so it'll alternate. Yes, so this will be plus, this will be plus. We okay there? All right, then you have to actually answer the question. I want to know, when is it less than or equal to 0? Yep, that middle part. Brackets, -5 to 1/2 bracket. Yeah? Getting it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let me give you one with some multiplicity so we can look at something like that, okay?
This is the first time I've actually had to write like notes my notebook, and the first time in like 5 years.
What else were you doing?
No, we had like a
Fair question.
thing, and then we just like fill out columns.
Oh,
And then like
that's
I
true.
Sometimes, not normally.
Yeah,
We did it like this most of the time.
I always do it.
I feel like she would not like that.
This is so annoying. Her voice made me so mad.
Okay, well, let's focus on the here and now. All right,
That's just me, guys.
so now we've got some factors with some multiplicity. Okay, so my number line. How many things are going to be on it? 3. Okay. When there's more, more than 2, sometimes you got to think about putting them in order. -3 would come first, then 2, then 5. So that's the same. What do we want to plug in? 0. Okay, so the only difference now that we have multiplicity, so I plug 0 in here, I get 3, and then it's 3 squared. Okay, that's still going to be positive, right? So you just have to think about those exponents a little. So first parenthesis will give me positive. What about 0 minus 2? Okay. What about the -5 and then cubed? Still negative, right? Cubing a negative, it's still negative. So positive times negative times negative?
No, it's a positive.
Positive, yes, okay.
This is not my bad.
It's been a long week, right?
It has.
Okay, now before we were like, oh, no multiplicity, it'll alternate, piece of cake, right? We have multiplicity now. So let's start over here on the -3. If I look at that factor, what kind of multiplicity do I have?
Squared.
Yeah, squared, even. So think about graphing your polynomials. What would happen if you had that kind of multiplicity?
Bounce.
It would bounce. Same thing's going to happen here. If it's positive on one side of that, it's positive on the other side because it's just bouncing off the x-axis and going back positive. Okay? So that's what the even multiplicity does. So this is plus. And then let's keep working our way across. This one here, the 2, do I have multiplicity on that? No. So what do you think is going to happen? Yeah, it's just going to alternate like normal. So this was positive, this side will be negative. And then our last one, the 5, it has multiplicity, but what kind? 3. That's odd, right? So we know that creates a point of inflection, but what about crossing over from like negative to positive? It does the same as this, right? Okay, so since it was negative on one side of the 5, what is it going to be on the other? Positive. Okay, so the even multiplicity is the only one you really have to watch out for that might make it not alternate. So this is positive. And then we still have to actually answer it less than or equal to 0. So what is my answer?
2.
Yep. 2. Yes, brackets. Good job. Okay, does that make sense how the multiplicity works?
Yeah.
We see it? Okay.
If it's less than 0, you're only making a negative function.
Let's try one more like that but I'll let you guys try it. So let's do another one. Let's do x plus 5 times x minus 1 squared times x minus 4 to the 4th is greater than 0. Okay? You guys give that one a try.
Always greater than 0. Oh, wait.
What is it? Okay. Like what is it? Yeah. But you start this integration.
Positive, so that would be the way I did it was I started with, you're not going to, because this one doesn't have a multiplicity, I started off with like so when I took 0, and obviously I did it like positive. Then yes. Positive and then I did 5 once again. So for this one, you can take it downside there and downside. But yeah, if you do negative find it like 5 or something, the way I thought about it was just I was working left to right essentially, but I started doing it, so I started there and I started here. And this one, it's just basically, and that's what you're doing. This I don't know how to explain it. It's hard to, I'm good at like, it's hard to explain. But yeah, it's just the first part, like the anything, at least the -5 is negative because there is no multiplicity. And then if you also roll to it,
All right, guys, let me go through it. Let's see how we did. Okay, so my points are -5, 1, and 4. I can test 0 this time, which is nice. 0 plus 5 is positive. 0 minus 1, that's -1, but then I square it, so it's going to become positive. 0 minus 4 is negative, but to the 4th is positive. So overall, what is that little region? Positive. Okay, then let's look at the -5. Does that one have any multiplicity? No, so it was positive on the right side. What's it going to do on the other side? Yes. We okay there? Okay, the 1. Does the 1 have multiplicity? Yes. Even or odd? Even. It's going to bounce. So whatever it is on one side, it's going to be the same thing on the other side. So this is positive. The 4, does it have multiplicity? Yes. Even or odd? So what's it going to do? Okay, look at you guys, so good. All right, now the weird part is writing your answer. If I had said greater than or equal to 0, it'd be easy. You'd just go from -5 to infinity. But I just said greater than, so what do we have to be careful of?
Not including the 1.
Exactly. So it's going to be parentheses, -5 to 1, parentheses, 1 to 4, parentheses, 4 to infinity. How'd we do? Yeah? Getting there? One more example in the notes, okay? And we're going to do this one together. All right, let's say we have an x squared plus 6x is greater than negative 10. Okay, jot it down and then let's talk about it. All right, so all of our inequalities up to this point have had a 0 on one side, right? Okay, can we make that happen in this one? Yeah, what do I do? Yes. So we are going to look at x squared plus 6x plus 10 is greater than 0. Okay. What should we try to do next? Factor. Yeah, does it factor? No. Okay, so if it doesn't factor, you have to think. Okay? It's Friday morning, and we think. I don't know. All right. What is that a graph of? Yeah, a little quadratic parabola. Okay. Do you see how everything is positive? The x squared, the 6x, the 10, all of it? Okay. I don't have to find exactly where the vertex is. I know this is going up and it's been shifted up because everything is positive. So this is not like exactly what the graph looks like, but let's pretend there's my graph. Okay. We can't find the x-intercepts because, yeah, there aren't any. Okay. There's imaginary solutions to this. So if I'm asking you, when is this greater than 0? When is it above the x-axis? Always, right? So you would just say negative infinity to infinity. What if I had asked you, when is it less than 0? Yeah, no solution. You're like, never. It's never less than 0. No solution. Okay? So if you get to a problem that doesn't factor, you probably need to just think about it for a minute. And then, what? Undefined is like a vertical asymptote. We're not being covered. It's not right. It's not right. Oh dear. Okay. If you think about what you for sure mean, let me know. It comes to you. Okay, guys, so that's the end of notes. We're going to do just a couple practice problems on your whiteboards to make sure everybody's got it so you can hold it up and I can check pretty quickly.
Undefined is what? Undefined is proper 8th grade That's not right. Yeah. So did she use like the thing about the spear thing? Yeah.
Leave your phone here. Yeah, you're not going to take your phone to the back. Thank you.
I seconded. The undefined is just when like
All right, guys, first one for your whiteboard. Do it on the whiteboard so that I can get a quick check of how you're doing. I like whiteboard practice so I can check in. You hold it up and I'm like, yes. Or, oh dear, half of you don't know, but then I know that. So. Yeah, if it's dead, go ahead and throw it out. And guys, please bring in a donation of markers, okay? We're dwindling. What? I don't care. I mean, dry erase markers of some sort. It doesn't have to be Expo branded.
Okay, so we have
Yep. Good. Once you've got it, guys, hold it up and I'll say yay or nay.
You alternate unless the multiplicity is equal.
Vienna is speaking the truth. Good.
Can I throw this?
Yeah, if it's dead, throw it away.
I'm gonna test it.
Fine, I know. I'm running out.
This is where
Got one? Yep. Yeah. Okay, good. Let's see. No. No. Partially, but not completely. Yes. 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 Woo. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Closer. You let. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's not before you get to it.
Yes. Yes. Nice.
that was like 2 years ago.
2 years ago, that was like in third grade.
No, we didn't.
Yay. Do you see why?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Good. Yeah, sorry guys, I don't have the erasers here yet. So there's tissues floating around. About 30 more seconds, then I'm going to go through it.
Okay, well, it isn't meant me. I know it's like a joke. I love this all the time. I think it's hilarious. I'm so funny. You know that, oh, I guess you're not in art. So just have advice.
All right, guys, going through the number line here. Yes, good. I tested where 0 was. That gave me positive. So I know we have multiplicity on the -3, but is it even multiplicity?
No.
No. So do I really need to worry about it? No. My number line's going to alternate. And then greater than 0, you're going to have parentheses, -3 to 1, parentheses, 5 to infinity. Okay? Questions anywhere? Looks like you guys did pretty well on it.
How is it plus negative for the first one?
Okay, so I plugged in 0 there. So what's 0 plus 3? Positive, 2, still positive, right? 0 minus 1?
That's negative.
Okay, 0 minus 5? Also negative times the negative.
That's the one I did.
I answered my own question. Yeah, you're good. All right, guys, let's try another one.
I'm watching it. If I don't want.
Let's do a factoring one. It's a little different.
I also work on my class. It was like it's so hot this morning.
What number is that? Three? Or is it cute?
You and your broken contact.
I know, I have my physical things because it's DeLaet. I'm gonna fail.
Failing. Yeah, you are.
I just
You know, my markers are dwindling. All right, guys. 3x cubed minus 4x squared minus 12x plus 16. We need to factor it, right? Do you guys remember how to factor when there's 4 terms? I don't think I can take a 3 out of 4.
Is it grouping?
It is grouping. Group it, guys, and see how it goes.
put a line down the middle.
Yeah, and you separate the 2 into the 2.
That's what I was talking about before. Okay. 3
You're like, I came back, what happened?
And then do negative 4.
It's x squared minus 4 and 3x minus 4.
And then you can keep factoring.
Oh, I think
Yeah, you can actually. No, I think that's right.
obviously she's right.
Oh, it's usually you should end up with 3 points on your number line.
Wait, isn't it x plus 2, x minus 2, and then 3x?
Oh, it's 4. Yeah, you can do the.
No?
No,
I
it
got a
is
whiteboard. It's going to yell things across the room.
perfect square.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so how did you get the 2? You set it equal to 0 and you get x equals 2. Yeah. Okay, so if I set 3x minus 4 equal to 0.
Oh, so you just said it equal to 0.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Yes, good.
Oh, yeah.
You're right. You gotta put it away. In your lap?
We're good.
Okay. All right. Oh, sorry, Miles. Let me see. I'll come over there.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe negative 2.
Okay, so what happens?
Isn't it 1 in number?
And then, oh, no. Yeah, you're right. Wait, what? Yeah. No, yeah, you're right.
This is positive.
Okay.
Yes.
It's the one on the
all the same.
What is X?
Sorry.
I just said I said
Can you tell me how much?
So, just
yeah, I gotta include that. Actually, this is so cute. Yeah.
you take
I swear.
We're gonna make it a negative. Because then you see how those match. Okay, correct me there. That's good. All right, guys. Let me show you the. Oh, let me see. Yeah. Neil, do you have it? Do you want to share? Wait, where's your answer? Oh, okay. Your number line's not quite right. You don't have the right numbers on there. So I think you're factoring. Something went wrong there. Okay, so let's look at that part. All right, you have to factor by grouping on this one when there's 4 terms. I can take an x squared out of that first part. And then I can take a negative 4 out of the second. Okay? The 3x minus 4, that's one of your factors. What's the other factor? X squared minus 4. Yeah, what does x squared minus 4 factor into? So that's where your 3, that's where your 3 factors come from. So on the number line, -2 is one of the values, and then a few people mix this up. Your others are 4/3 and 2. 2 is bigger than 4/3, okay? So 4/3 has to go in the middle, and then 2. What's wrong? Oh, it's dead too.
Well, it works, but it doesn't work.
Okay, that's lovely. All right, I'm going to plug a 0 in. I get a negative, a positive, and a negative. Overall, what is that region, guys? Hey, guys, up here. Overall, what is that region that I just tested? Positive. Do I have any multiplicity to worry about? No. So my answer is parentheses, -2 to 4/3. Union to infinity. Okay? How we doing? Yes. Okay. We've got just over 15 minutes left, so let me make your Delta Math available, and you guys can work on that for the last 15 minutes. What'd you say? Yes, that'd be great. All right, guys, your assignment should be there for you. Hey Karen, I'm not sure you've joined Delta Math yet. Okay, so on Schoology under updates, there's a link, and that's where your homework's going to be, okay? And I don't think you, okay, you're working on that? Okay.